Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel where skincare is all about progression over perfection because perfection doesn't exist. As I get older, but more importantly as my skin matures, there are a few things, not regrets, but yeah, products I regret not using or steps I regret not doing as I approach my mid-30s. So today I want to share some of those skincare steps I wish I started around my mid-20s and carried through up until my mid-30s now. Before I get into it, I want to say this isn't about anti-aging and seeing my skin getting older and being like, oh my god, I never want to age. I also don't love the term well aging. It sounds kind of patronizing. I don't know why. But when it does come to that, we all know it's a privilege to age. We all know that. But I also don't think people should be telling other people what the right way to age is or what you should be and shouldn't be doing. I think for me personally, well aging isn't about seeing my skin getting older and seeing wrinkles and being like, oh my god, I look old. One thing it triggers in my head is like, oh my god, time has gone so fast. Like so fast. Like in my head, I'm still 19. Next month, I'm 35. When this comes out, it'll be in a couple weeks time. And it used to be about having regrets of things I should have done sooner, or I should have been doing that in my 20s, etc, etc. But now I kind of like look at those who are in their 40s, people I really respect, and see what they're doing. And part of me can't wait for that kind of like next chapter. I don't want to wish away time at all. I'm really loving my 30s. It's true what they say, like 30s is one of the best like decades of your life. But sometimes I feel like I feel like that my outside doesn't match my inside. And for me, well aging is more about caring for my skin, how I currently feel, if that makes sense. I will be doing my skincare routine and half the products aren't really related to what I'm talking about, but let's just get into it. So I have cleansed already. I'm going to use the Klairs Supple Preparation Unscented Toner just to hydrate my skin. You can see I'm struggling a bit with breakouts at the moment. Well, more irritated skin. Can you see that? And a bit of redness. So I'm just going very gentle on myself. Not using hand cream every day. Oh my god. You know they say that the first signs of aging appear in your hands and your neck. And I believe that it's true, but it's more so the fact that your hands are probably exposed to the elements and daily doings just as much as the skin on your face is. But for some reason, I've ignored it all my life. Not all my life. I mean, when I use a toner, I'm going to do this after. When I use a serum, it all goes on my hands. But I do agree that you first start to see really those changes on your hands. I have done anyway. Not so much since I've been doing gel manicures because I wear sunscreen when I do gel manicures and UV gloves, so I'm protected. But I also just think like, why have I not been treating my hands the way they should be treated? I knock them all the time. They do everything for me. They do my skincare. They are such an important part of my body. Then to see them kind of age quicker than the rest of my body, just to me makes me think, oh, I've not really been keeping up with hand care as much as I should have been doing. I mean, it's not like a huge regret. I'm not like, oh my god, my hands, they look about 80. It's nothing like that. It's just more so the fact that I'm like, oh, I need to start treating the rest of my body with the respect that I treat my face, just so everything's even, you know? On that note, sunscreen on hands and neck. I know we're all very good at applying, oh shit, I forgot. I'm gonna use the Prequel Universal Dermal Spray just to help with my breakouts and irritation. And then we have to let that sink in and dry on the skin. Sunscreen on hands and neck. I know we are all very diligent with sunscreen nowadays, but again, neck a little less so, but I'll be honest guys, I'm lazy sometimes. Sometimes I'm like, that will do. And then I'll use like a roll on, like a sunscreen stick on my ears and my neck, which are great for top up application, but not really your first go-to sunscreen. And especially on my hands as well. This is one thing, especially as I've been getting into gel manicures and became a licensed nail tech. One thing I don't think people take into consideration is when they're, you know, saying like, oh, that UV that you're getting on your hands, it's gonna age your hands, give you skin cancer, all that kind of stuff. In comparison to sticking your hand in a UV lamp for a couple of minutes during an appointment versus the constant exposure to UV light that our hands have all year round, especially in the summer. And I can guarantee most of us don't use sunscreen on our hands. According to Doug Schoon, who is one of the leading scientists when it comes to nails, you're more likely to develop skin cancer with not wearing sunscreen on your hands through a car window, through the office window, than you are putting your hands in and out of a UV lamp for a couple of minutes every month or so. So that does make me think, why have I not been as diligent as I am with my face, on my hands, or even on the rest of my body? There have been times that I go out in like a t-shirt and I've not put sunscreen on my body, which is really bad. And I just need to be more diligent with my neck as well. I think again, your neck is one of those areas where you first start seeing that difference in your skin texture. And I've started to notice that recently, and I don't think it would have been that obvious if I had been as diligent with my sunscreen as I am on my face. I do think you see a difference when it it comes to texture and like the lines I've got on my neck and things like that. So, you know, it doesn't massively bother me, to be honest with you. Again, it's one of those things where I'm like, why am I not treating the rest of my body with the same respect that I treat my face, you know? Okay, that is dry, so I'm gonna go in with my Beekman 1802 Milk Drop Ceramide Serum. Full disclosure, I've had on and off partner sponsorships with this brand. I love this serum though. I bought 2 of these with my own money after they sent it to me for the sponsorship, and I use it like twice a day. It's one of my favorite ceramide serums. It does have a slight Play-Doh-y smell to it, but that's kind of what you get with like unscented skincare. Use a fucking eye cream. Oh my God. I was definitely in that camp of like, sunscreen, it's just expensive moisturizer repackaged into a tiny bottle. Don't get me wrong, sometimes it is. Sometimes it is. There are little eye creams that are just the brand's moisturizer repackaged. Now, I do get there are nuances here. Here's my personal take. The skin under our eyes is so delicate, so delicate. And the thing is with a moisturizer, yes, it might do the job, but that skin is so thin. Sometimes it could be too thin, sometimes it could be too thick. Eye creams are made for that delicate skin under your eyes. Now, when it comes to actually seeing differences under my eyes, there are certain ingredients I look for in under eye creams that aren't in moisturizers. Caffeine being an amazing one. You get certain retinols that are formulated to be gentle enough to be used under eyes. You know, there are ingredients and formulations that work perfectly for under your eyes versus a moisturizer that is literally just targeting the rest of the skin around your face. So why not use an eye cream? Some of them are scams, yes, but you can get really affordable eye creams from the Inkey List, from The Ordinary, e.l.f., you know, all these brands that do eye creams with effective ingredients for that more delicate skin. I don't have time to experiment with moisturizers anymore. I don't want to be using something too heavy under my skin that I get those little white dots. I forgot they're called now. Oh my God. Sorry, it's like 8 o'clock in the morning. You know, you know. And then as somebody with oily skin as well in the past, I don't want to be using something that's too light, that doesn't do anything, that's not giving that delicate skin under my eyes enough, you know? I think now that there are so many affordable skincare brands around and ingredients is much more affordable, they can formulate and make really nice, affordable, effective skincare, there is no reason you should not be using an eye cream. The more I've been using eye creams and reusable eye patches and really dedicating 30 seconds to that skin under my eyes, I've definitely noticed a difference as far as how sunk in they can look and how tired I look as well. Speaking about anti-aging and well-aging, I wish I wasn't so worried about fine lines and wrinkles when I didn't fucking have any, or when they were tiny. I feel like everyone, like we're seeing with these 10-year-olds going to Sephora that they're already worried about fine lines and wrinkles. Like they haven't got another 20 years before they even see a dent in their face, you know? It's, you know, we live in a society and all that, but I feel like doing skincare once you reach 20 is, in my case, was before it was all about acne, right? Then you reach 20 and then it's all about not aging ever, and not seeing a single sign of aging on your face. Why the fuck was I worrying about that when I was 20? Why was I worrying about that when I was 25? These fine lines in my forehead, are they fine lines? I don't even know. They're not even, they're expression lines, you know? That's just muscle movement. Why was I worrying about that? Doing things like using retinol when I really didn't need to start using retinol at such a young age. I did get Botox when I started to notice that my natural face is like a frown. I was doing this a lot, so I was getting like these, you can see them here, these like little lines here. And when I laugh, I literally laugh like this. So I did get Botox when I noticed that my everyday expressions were kind of exacerbating those fine lines, and I was noticing them getting a lot deeper. Retinol, use retinol whenever, you know, there's no harm in using retinol at a younger age, 20s plus, you know. But this whole preventative Botox, this baby Botox, I really don't think it makes much of a difference unless you have really deep set lines. You got nothing to worry about. Just get Botox when you see a fucking wrinkle. Just get Botox when you see a line. Don't stress about it up until then. Or don't get Botox at all. It's completely up to you. I do feel like had I been less worried about well-aging and anti-aging at such a young age, maybe my rosacea wouldn't be as bad. Maybe if I had just focused on what was the issue at the time rather than planning ahead 10, 15 years. Like I don't even have wrinkles now. I don't know why I'm worried about it now. You know, I get Botox here and there and that's about it. But like, why was I worrying about such a long-term future thing instead of focusing on what was going on my skin there and then? I hate to say this, but keep your routine basic. My job is to review skincare, right? And that's kind of why I've kind of gone away from constant product reviews, because my skin can't take it anymore. I can't take it anymore. There's no need for me to be doing it anymore. I move more into commentary stuff because I can't keep doing that to my skin. Also, we all know what our skin loves and what our skin doesn't like nowadays. Skincare had a huge boom during lockdown, and now I think we're all fairly well educated, right? Skinfluencers are part of the problem too, but the rise of skincare skincare kind of made skincare become like makeup YouTube, you know, where there's constant new launches, new releases. Every skincare brand has their own version of the same thing. And people almost like collect skincare when all we really need to do is find the basic steps that work for us and keep it basic. That's all we need to do. These product reviews are meant to be for like, maybe you've run out of a serum and you want to try a new ceramide serum, you know? So you go on the hunt for suggestions. I'm going to use the Rogue Glazing Milk. I forgot a moisturizer, but I'm going to apply sunscreen over it. And this is quite thick. So for me, it's like moisturizing enough. But yeah, I do think if I just kept it basic, stuck to that skin cycling trend, which is literally just how you should be cycling your skincare, right? I do think my skin would be in a much better place. Unfortunately, it is my job. But I do feel like if at 25, I was sticking to like vitamin C, peptides, retinol, exfoliating, you know, every few days, you're setting up good skincare habits and you'll see that reflected in your skin in your 30s and your 40s. You know, I was a non-believer of red light therapy for the longest time. I was like, it sounds gimmicky. I don't understand how it works. Oh, I'm going to use this new sunscreen called, it's the brand Toti. This is Sofia Vergara's brand, specifically a sunscreen brand. So I'm going to go. It's a mineral sunscreen, SPF 50 plus, antioxidant sunscreen, broad spectrum, water resistant up to 80 minutes, ascorbic acid. So it's vitamin C. I wish I started red light therapy at a younger age, or light therapy in general. Now, here's the thing. Dermatologists and scientists love red light therapy because it is effective. It's effective. There are a few videos on TikTok saying like, don't get Botox, just do red light therapy. Not the same thing, but it can help slow down the signs of aging, collagen, elastin, all that shit. So I do wish I started, oh my God, it's liquidy. So I do wish I started that a bit earlier. I have also seen a dermatologist say that they don't think it's worth it. And their reasoning for not thinking it's worth red light therapy was worth the hype was because they said you got to be consistent with it. And they were like, you're not going to get the effects that you would do in like a professional clinic unless you're consistent with it. Isn't that all skincare? Isn't that the point in skincare? You have to be consistent. This is very watery, but quite nice. I don't know if it's making me look pale or not. I can't see. That's the only, I would say, downside of red light therapy is unless you buy, I've got like a clinic quality standard one, my Flex MD, which I absolutely love for my rosacea. I haven't done it for about 3 months, which is so bad, but I can see the difference. When I use it, my rosacea calms the fuck down. But if you've got one of those ones, you know, like the little masks that strap onto your face, you do have to use it so consistently in order to see any difference for a very long time. There are some amazing before and afters actually on TikTok at the moment of people who have been using these red light masks for like a year, and you really, really do see the difference, and it's worth keeping up and doing consistently, like everything else in skincare. So I definitely wouldn't say having to be consistent with it is a downside whatsoever. If you can't afford the professional quality one, they recommend you use it 3 times a week instead of every single day, which to be honest with you is more my kind of thing because I just forget. Then definitely do so. But you know, the reason I didn't start it in my 20s was because it wasn't invented. Well, it was already invented, but it wasn't mainstream. You couldn't just go out and buy one as a consumer. This is the Torridin Solid In Lip Essence. This is supposed to be a dupe for the Hailey Bieber lip product, which I don't get because it's literally just a lip balm. Very glossy though. And then I'm going to use this made by Mitchell Snow Coat Nourishing Hand Cream. Back on the hand cream. My only thing with this is it always leaks a little something, but it's not the worst. It's not the worst. This is kind of like out of my comfort zone, but one thing I also wish I did in my 20s was take my diet a bit more seriously. And by that, I don't mean like, oh, I wish I had carrots and exercised. I've got IBS, and I believe I've had IBS for a very, very long time. More recently, last year, I went through a bit of like a scare where I had to have like a colonoscopy and all this kind of stuff. Turns out I just had terrible IBS, not IBD, thank God. But you know, they do say there are connections between your gut and your skin. And I do see that when I'm eating things that I know flare up my IBS, my skin goes to shit. If I'm consistently eating shit for like a week, I know my rosacea in particular is really, really going to flare up. There isn't much science between the link of what you eat versus what happens to your skin, but there may potentially be a connection between gut health and rosacea. But I do think if I had listened to my body more, listened to what my body likes and doesn't like, and maybe worked harder at making meals in general, I think my skin would like that. And that's why today's video is sponsored by HelloFresh. That's not really can imagine. It's not. I just wish I listened to my body more when it comes to my food, because you know, I think rosacea is directly connected to your gut. I don't know. Anyway, let me know if any of these hit home for you. If you do any of these, if you're gonna pick any of these habits up. I know I'm trying harder at doing. Oh, this hand cream's so nice. it's like not sticky or anything. This sunscreen's quite nice too. It feels like, you know, usually mineral sunscreens are like a little bit chalky. This one isn't. This one's fairly nice. Anyway, yes, let me know if you already do any of these or if you're going to pick up any of these habits in the comments down below. You can watch some more product reviews here, some general light entertainment here, and I'll see you over there.